Hi, Yogi. Welcome to our new moon mail. I'm so glad you're here. Today's theme is a restorative recharge. In case you're not subscribed to this newsletter, classes like this go out once a month. Here's the website, lasater.yoga, www.lasater.yoga, to sign up for that free newsletter. And you can find everything I'm doing, including my free Sunday newsletter, Rest with Lizzie Lasater, here, lizzie.yoga. Restorative recharge. It's really about shifting the inertia, the inner inertia that we feel with conscious rest. So it's counterintuitive. When we feel that sense of inertia, we often push ourselves, think we need to get up off the couch, we need to start moving, we need to exercise more, we need to do more active yoga, we should finish all our projects, there's a sense for me of contraction and squeezing myself and negative self-talk when I feel stuck. So today, the hypothesis for this class is, instead of pushing that stuck feeling away and trying to change it, we're going to settle into it and allow ourselves to shift the inertia with rest, with recharging the physical body, the nervous system, the emotional body. I want to read a definition of inertia, that word, for us all. Inertia is a fundamental concept in physics. It's resistance of an object to changes in motion state. Sir Isaac Newton's laws describe this property, stating that objects at rest stay at rest unless acted on by an external force. So the external force that we're using today is this softening, this allowing, accepting, embracing the body's tendency towards inertia. Right now, I'm feeling stuck. Right now, I'm feeling lethargic, heavy, disinterested in productivity. And metaphorically, inertia is all about this inner resistance. And that's what we're going to hold with super soft eyes, with a super soft heart. We're going to hold our inner inertia. Yes, good idea. Let's move to the mat. Start at the wall with half dog pose. Press your palms about halfway down, so you're creating an L shape, pressing your pelvis towards your hips. Drop the head. Outside edges of your feet are parallel to each other, so you're not turning your feet out. And you're pressing with an exhalation into the wall. Couple breaths here, lengthening the spine, which is something we say in yoga. It's not actually what's happening, but we're pressing. It's a feeling of length here. And that pressure into the wall, we're making manifest in the physical world a sense of frustration. So press into that, build a tiny bit of heat in the body. And if it's available to you, you can begin to tilt your pelvis slightly up and down. Inhale, come forward. We'll do it one more time. That movement is a kind of micro movement of the pelvis. So what I'm doing is, in the pose, as I'm in that forward bend, I'm slightly tilting the pelvis up and down, if that's available. If your hamstrings are tighter, it's not going to be possible. Press against the wall, drop the head second time. And then with the breath, I'm exhaling. It's almost like a mini cat-cow. Any amount that feels good. Exhaling around. Inhaling, I extend. Maybe 3 times like that, maybe 5 times. And inhale, come up to standing. Pause here in Tadasana, simply standing and feeling the effects of those 10 breaths. Letting go of any ambition to change the interior state right now of your body, just observing what's going on inside your body. The way the energy is moving or not moving, the temperature, the quality of your breath. Okay, spread the feet apart. We're going to take Prasarita Padottanasana. It's a wide leg standing forward fold. I like 2 blocks. If you don't have them, you can use your fingertips. Hands on your hips, inhale. Feet are wide, my toes are turned slightly in. Exhale, drop the chin and fold. Bring your hands onto your blocks or fingertips on the floor and extend the hands so my hips stay over my heels in that plane, but my arms are reaching forward. And it's similar to what we just did at the wall. The pelvis is resisting and the arms are moving forward. The head is really heavy. When you lift your head up, it's a sign that you're thinking, that your brain is working. We don't need your brain in restorative yoga, the thinking brain. So drop the head. We're beginning to shift into a state of sensing rather than thinking. And walk the fingertips back. If you need to close your feet a little bit, that sometimes helps. Inhale, not too slowly. Lift back up. Bring the feet together or towards each other one more time. Feeling that. Interior, just taking stock, observing. What's happening? I like to close my eyes for this because I can bring more attention to the interior sensation. One more breath here. Okay. One more time with the wide leg forward bend. Open, inhale. Drop the chin, exhale, fold. Walk the fingertips forward, maybe place them on your blocks. And now with the breath, very slowly, exploring a little bit of movement. Whatever feels good, shifting the hips slightly, any amount. The length of a breath, exhale. There's no right or wrong movements here. Very small shifts in your weight. Head is heavy, heavy, heavy. Letting go of how it looks from the outside. You don't have to do the exact thing on the left or the right sides. You can just I'm kind of searching. I'm exploring the sensations created by some of these small movements, feeling the stretch in the back body here, feeling something on the inner thighs that's interesting. Not overdoing it, no force or strain here. Almost like a wind chime. It's just being moved in the wind this way and then this way and this way. And walk the feet now towards each other, towards Uttanasana, standing forward fold. I'm going to take my blocks and have them ready. So the feet land underneath the hips. The head is again heavy. And inhale, come up to standing. One more Tadasana here. Eyes closed. Observing. Okay. Last Uttanasana. Last standing forward bend. Inhale. Bring your thumbs into the creases here at the top thighs. And as I fold, I'm going to pull the flesh out. It creates like really delicious spaciousness in the low belly. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward and release. Whatever you like with your hands. They can be on the floor. You can clasp the elbows. You can put them on blocks. And now, last couple breaths in the pose, just allowing a little bit of movement as we did in Prasarita Padottanasana. Whatever feels good. Shifting the weight from left to right, front and back. And instead of coming up to standing, bend your knees and come down to the floor. Very slowly, with a big inhalation, lift the head up. So the head's been down for a lot of breaths. We did a gentle beginning inversion in terms of sequencing. We have this wonderful magic of sequencing course on Yoga. So we did the half dog pose at the wall. This was a kind of starting the practice, moving towards head down, and then the wide leg forward bend is a little bit gentler on the hamstrings, and then we came to Uttanasana. And now we're slowly transitioning down to the mat to begin the longer restorative poses of the practice. I consider those first three like restorative warm-up poses because head down inversions shift the nervous system quite strongly in the direction of parasympathetic, which is what we're interested in restorative yoga. Now we're going to do one more sort of preparing the body to restore pose. We're going to do a dog pose with a block under the forehead. If you don't have a block, try to find something. It's very important in this pose that the weight of the head is being held. You could use a bolster, you could use a stack of books, cookbooks, something really for the head. And what's important here is that I don't want the head to be, the neck to be in a back bend. So you have to adjust the height, and it's tricky with the standard blocks. You try different heights, and you might have to put a book under your block. You need to tailor the support to your body, not sinking down and arching the neck to reach the support. Come onto hands and knees. We'll sneak in one round of cat-cow just because we're here. Exhale, round. Inhale. Okay, and now from this rounded position, turn the toes under, lift the belly, float up with an inhalation, shift the weight towards the feet, and exhale, descend. Adjust your support so that it lands underneath your forehead. And breathe here. Three more breaths. Can you make them slower, longer, richer, deeper? And release. Remove the block and just pause briefly in child's pose. And inhale. Come up to sitting. All right. Simple supported back bend with 2 blocks here. So I'm going to take 1 block on this setting and 1 block. This is for my head. This is for my back. You can also shift them down. The amplitude is not what's important. Kind of the intensity of the pose is not what's important. The alignment is more interesting. So pick a setup that fits your body today, right now, how you feel. The only other prop that I'm going to use is actually an exercise resistance band. I'll put the link below. This is going to go around my lower legs. And it's just, let me see how you can see it. It's just kind of hip distance happens to be. You could also use a yoga strap for this, or a scarf tied around, or even a blanket wrapped around. What this does is it's not holding my feet together, my legs together. It's keeping them from falling apart. I do a slight internal rotation. The heels are out, the toes are slightly in. You can also do that on the thighs as you come into the pose. And this support acts as sort of an external ligament, and it's supportive of the lower back, especially if you have sacroiliac, a grumpy sacroiliac joint, which I do every 28 days on my cycle. So I like to take that support of the lower legs. If this doesn't feel good, then the alternative in this pose is to just bend the knees and put the soles of the feet on the floor. Restorative yoga is about comfort. So you need to make sure your physical body is comfortable as you come into the pose. You don't want to have a sense that it's about stretching or gritting your teeth through unpleasant sensations. Forgot the most important thing, the eye mask, third eye mask, designed by me, Lizzie.yoga. You can find it as part of my spirit jewelry line. I'm setting a timer for 5 minutes for us in the pose. Come out earlier if you want, of course. Listen to your body. Rolling the flesh out, the calf flesh, the thigh flesh, wrapping something around the legs. Now I come down to the back bend. This lands in the thoracic spine where the ribs are, the bra strap line. And then the second block is supporting the back of the skull. Eyes are covered, eye bag, mask, scarf, whatever you have. The arms are open, palms up. And breathing here. I'm not going to talk much while we're in the pose. Invite yourself to rest your attention on the breath itself and the sensations of breathing. Inhale your breath. Exhaling. Come onto your elbows, moving slowly. And press into your hands as you sit up. Pause for a moment. Taking stock of how that brief backbend began to shift, perhaps quiet your nervous system. And if you're a teacher, a note for my yoga teachers out there, that was 5 minutes of silence. I didn't say anything in that pose. And notice how you felt when I started to bring you out. Did you have a sense that it was too long or too short? To remember when we offer our students rich spaces of silence in a class, it is a gift. The next pose involves a chair. I'm going to show with a yoga chair, but if you don't have that, you can also use your couch. So just picture my chair being replaced by a couch. This pose is called Viparita Karani 1, or we sometimes affectionately call it instant Maui in restorative yoga. Chair, some padding on top of the chair, bolster in front of the chair. I've also put on socks. You want to be warm when you practice restorative yoga. The legs go up onto the chair. I take a moment to roll my calf flesh out, and the great place to use your yoga strap, or I'm using this resistance band. You also could just wrap a blanket around so that there's no effort on the inner thighs to hold the legs together. While I'm up here, I'm also going to put a blanket over the top of the chair for warmth. So I come down and onto my elbows slowly and all the way down. And then I need to readjust my bolster so that it's supporting from my first rib down to the pelvis. And my tailbone is tipping down towards the floor. You can feel that here. It's subtle, but it makes a big difference in the pose. If I lift my tailbone, tuck my tailbone, I begin to slant towards the floor this way, and the base of my neck presses down. Now, you can try this with me. As you tilt your pelvis towards a back bend, I'm sort of in neutral now, and I'm continuing to press my tailbone down towards the floor on the opposite side of the bolster. It begins to lift the base of my neck. Such a delicious sensation, just ever so slightly, as if I'm hung over the bolster, as if my top chest, shoulders, and neck were hanging. I'm setting a timer for 15 minutes for us. You're welcome to come out, of course, at any time if something feels uncomfortable. You can also, if the bolster is too much, if it's too much back bend for you today, you can remove the bolster and do exactly the same pose with just the elevated legs on your chair or your couch and your pelvis flat on the floor. I don't recommend this pose past 3 months of pregnancy. I don't recommend this pose if you're menstruating. I don't recommend this pose if it feels uncomfortable or if you have any other concerns about it because of your physical health. Do less. Okay. So last adjustments of the physical body. Cover the eyes. And we'll begin. Swallow, part the lips, let the tongue become heavy onto the bottom of the mouth. And we'll practice together in silence so that there's space for you to explore your own interior landscape. Being with whatever inertia might be there, not trying to change it. Giving your physical body time and space to recharge.
Inhale your breath. Exhaling, slowly transitioning out of the pose. You can lift up slightly and remove the bolster. Roll down onto the ground. Roll yourself to the side. Press yourself up to sitting. It's time for Shavasana. This is the last pose in our pursuit of unlocking inertia in this practice, Shavasana. It's the horizontal line, corpse pose. We lie here. We're taking a really simple variation today, but very luxurious in the sense that we are looking for comfort. We're doing everything we can to make the physical body comfortable, including warmth. Warmth is part of being comfortable. So I've spread out a big, soft blanket on the floor covering my mat so that my hands don't come in contact with the cold floor. I've rolled a blanket for my ankles. I have a round bolster for my knees. If you don't have a round bolster, you can roll up a couple blankets. It needs to be firm to support the backs of your legs. And I have a pillow for my head. Eye mask, as always, we're going to cover the eyes so that the darkness triggers the nervous system towards relaxation. Ankles are supported, feet are floating, socks are on. Then I adjust the bolster into the back of the knees, and I'll take a blanket on top for warmth. Come down onto your elbows. Lengthen the rib cage as you lie down. I have a timer for us. Press the pillow behind the back of the neck so it comes all the way down to the shoulders. The chin is slightly lower than the forehead. The eyes are covered. Any last adjustments to the physical body? Now is the time. Scan your body and see if there's any slight change you could make to increase your comfort. It goes without saying that your phone should be on airplane mode. Hopefully you can close the door in the room where you are, tell your people not to come in. 20 minutes of Shavasana is a gift that you give yourself and the world at the same time. You are going to emerge after this pose, after this practice, in a more rested, calm, integrated mind body. And that is going to be experienced and enjoyed by yourself, but also anyone you come in contact with for the rest of the day. Soften the tongue. Let yourself settle into the soothing silence of Shavasana. Inhale the breath. Exhale. Turn your kneecaps to look up at the ceiling. Slowly drag one foot and then the other onto the bolster. Roll to the side. And press yourself up to sitting. Thank you so much for your practice. Inhaling, open the palms away from the body. Exhaling, bring them together in front of the heart. Namaste. May we live like the lotus at home in the muddy water. If you liked that practice, please let me know in the YouTube comments below a single word how you feel right now. You feel open, calm, grounded, something like that. And whether or not the inertia, a sense of inner inertia, is softened or shifted for you. And if you liked that practice, you will love 2 courses on Lassiter.yoga that I want to draw your attention to. Here's the website, Lassiter.yoga. I'm going to share my screen with you and show you 2 options. Number 1 is our Relax and Renew Level 1 online teacher training. It starts in March 2024. We only run this course once a year. As soon as you enroll, you get access to a ton of back-end material and pose setups. And then throughout March, we do a bunch of live Zooms with Mama, Judith Hansen Lassiter, and me. You get to learn from her and work with partners in private Zoom rooms. And there's a wonderful team of assistants who supports that training. It's great for serious students, for teachers, even for teachers who've already taken that training. A lot of people, especially if you've taken it live, people will redo it online, and it leads to a certification to teach restorative yoga. The other course I was thinking you might like is this, the Restorative Reset. It's a 14-day journey to unplug and recharge. And it leads you step by step through, I would say, kind of beginning your relationship with restorative yoga. Thank you so much for being here. You can find everything I'm doing at lizzie.yoga, Lizzie.yoga, my spirit jewelry line, my retreats, and most importantly, my Rest with Lizzie Lassiter Sunday Substack. We'll see you next month.